My name is Ulysses, but everybody calls me Sunny, and I know the internet says that we should be learning tons and tons of songs, and I agree with the intent of that, but instead of learning songs, we should be growing songs, and that's what we're going to be going over in this video. So what's the difference between learning a song and growing a song? When most of us are trying to learn a song, we are trying to duplicate exactly what the guitar player did in the original recording. And I find this to be kind of silly because of how the recording process works. They'll put the guitar player in the recording studio and they're going to play that part over and over and over and over again. And the best take that they have is the one that goes on the album. And now we are trying to duplicate that particular part. If it took them hours and hours and hours and hours, it's also probably going to take us hours and hours and hours and hours. But there's a drawback to this. So let's say you're playing the exact guitar part the exact way that the original guitar player played it. Well, people are still going to be expecting you to sing along. So look at all that effort that you just did, but it doesn't matter because you weren't singing. There's also the factor of the entire band. Most people think there's just one person making all that noise. But no, it's a group effort, and they're going to be expecting you to duplicate all that noise with one instrument. So it doesn't make sense to me to learn a song that way. Instead, we can grow a song. We can make sure that the proper pieces are in the right place, and then make them expand out the way we want them to, so that way we can sound more like the song without actually duplicating what the original guitar player did. And it seems to be easier that way, and people seem to have more enjoyment and express themselves more out of that. As well, people who are listening to you tend to enjoy it more because you sound more like the original song. So how in the world do we go about this? The most important thing for a guitar player is to hit the right chords at the right time. Now, hopefully you watched the fundamental guitar chords and how to change chords faster, right? You did watch that, right? If you did, it's going to make this part a lot easier. Most of the time we're counting to 4 when we're playing a song, and our chords are going to fall somewhere within that 4 count. Let's use Three Little Birds, the verse, as an example for our first part. So each chord in that verse is going to get 4 beats. We're going to use the first 4 chords, so A, E, A, D. So A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4. We start to sound more like the song because we're putting the right chord at the right time. Now, are all chords going to get 4 beats? Not necessarily. Let's say you're playing Let Her Go with no capo. Those chords are getting 2 beats. So for example, the first few chords are C, G, D, E minor. That's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice those are going by a lot faster. Well, not necessarily faster. They're getting less time. That's what's going on. And that's why we have to be able to change chords faster with that exercise. We don't know necessarily how fast each chord's going to be going. So it might be 4 beats, it might be 2 beats, it might be 3 or 1. We don't know yet. Now, how do you know where each chord's going to be with how many beats? You're actually going to have to listen to the song and try to read the chords as they're going by and make sure that you're counting along. And that's going to be really tough because most of the time when we look up these chord charts, you're going to see the lyrics underneath, and we're going to try to put the lyric lined up with the chord. And they're not necessarily always in the right place. You have to remember, most of these websites were started a long time ago, and they're expecting you to be counting while you are playing. And if you're not counting, you won't know if the chord's in the right place or not. Chords are not based off of where the singer is, they're based off where the beat is, and hopefully they line up. That's why you have to be counting. So make sure you hit the right chord at the right time by listening and counting with the song. The claim that I'm about to make is going to be extremely controversial. Your strumming pattern does not matter as long as it is on beat. I'll give you an example of this. Let's say I'm doing the Three Little Birds thing again, right? I'm going to strum quarter notes. You're going to notice that I sound fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so what if I do eighth notes, right? I strum down and up. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, perfectly fine. Okay, now what if maybe I mixed it up a little bit. Maybe I put a quarter, quarter, 2/8, and then a quarter. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that sounds fine too. And you're gonna find that most songs work like this. And it's because as long as we are on beat, the chord and the melody line aren't starting to contradict each other. If you notice that your strumming pattern is not working that well, that probably means you're strumming too much or not enough, or you're probably emphasizing the beat that's in an awkward place. But I really doubt that's going to happen because most of the songs we want to play are on the radio or very popular, and those songs can't get too crazy because it becomes less accessible to the general public. So as long as you are on beat and you have a comfortable set of strumming patterns, it doesn't matter which one you do. Now I'm going to suggest that you use different patterns for different songs, so that way all the songs don't start running into each other. But as long as you're on beat, it's okay. Now if you're looking for strumming patterns, look at that! I actually have a whole video on strumming patterns that you can actually access right now. You should probably check that one out. So let's say you have the right chord at the right time, you have a good strumming pattern, but it's just still not smooth. It still sounds kind of rough. There's a couple of things that are happening. First thing you have to keep in mind is you are multitasking at a very, very high level. You're keeping track of a lot of things, and everything's going to start getting confused, and it starts starting and stopping, and if it's hitting too hard and going too fast or too slow, it's a lot of stuff. So the best way of practicing it, I feel, is to make sure you only practice the verse until you have it smooth, right? Don't try to rush it. Just throw on something and like a television show or stream something on Netflix or more YouTube stuff, and just keep practicing it until you feel comfortable with it. Smooth it out. And who knows how long it's going to take, but the whole point is just to do it over and over and over again until it's smooth, until you're relaxed. Once you have that one down, then you move to the chorus, and once you have that one down, you move to the bridge. Once you can play them by yourself, then you move to play with the song. So that way, you know that you can play it at tempo and under pressure. The pressure of the song is going to be a lot more than what you think it might be. You just do it over and over again. Now, what's going to start to happen is, let's say the first song takes you about a week to get comfortable with. I guarantee you the next song, as long as it's on the same level, meaning you have open chords and simple strumming patterns, instead of taking 7 days, it's going to take 6 days. And then it's going to take 5 days. We're going to get to the point where you can play songs just by looking at it and hearing it. And I'm not exaggerating that, by the way. It happens to all my students. I push them really hard at that because what starts to happen is you are getting more confident in where you are at. Right now you are unsure because, is this beat 1? Is this beat 2? Is this an A? Am I in the right place? After a while you're going to know. Once you know where you're at, you'll be able to read any song just as well as you read any book. Maybe not any book. Maybe not any song. Some books get crazy. Some songs get crazy. The ones that matter, you will definitely be able to do. So there is one more level, and I'm going to strongly suggest that you put your helmet on for it. This is advice that I wish someone had told me when I first started playing. Learn all the words to all the songs that you're going to play because you're going to sing all of them from memory. Now, I didn't say sing well, I said sing. As long as you are somewhere around where the note is, you're going to be fine, I promise. But the reason why we're doing this is we're trying to create your own real book. What's a real book? It's a gigantic book of jazz songs that many musicians play around the world. The problem with this is, let's say you memorize the entire real book. All those songs are really old songs, which is going to make you sound really old. Not that it's bad. If you're into the real book and jazz, you're going to sound great. But most of us aren't trying to sound like Charlie Parker. Most of us are just trying to play our favorite songs, and we're trying to play them faster. So if we make our own real book, we are going to sound like ourselves. But the only way you could do that is if you actually have the songs memorized. So if let's say you're really into Beyonce, right? If you learn a ton of Beyonce songs, you're going to sound more like Beyonce. But maybe you're not trying to sound just like Beyonce. Beyonce. Let's say you're also into, who's another popular person? Sam Smith. All right, so you learn a bunch of Beyonce and Sam Smith. Well, now you start to sound like a hybrid of those musicians. And the more you learn and memorize, the more likely you are to sound like you, and the faster you're going to learn these songs. Now, as you become more advanced, it actually becomes a really good pool to pull information from, because you're going to be learning more of how music interacts with each other and itself, because you have the songs to pull from in your head. So, make sure you know all the words to all the songs you know, and you can sing them from memory. Hopefully this made your musical life a little bit easier. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, death threats, or want me to go over something, please leave a comment down below, because I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. All right, take it easy, guys.